and we are on episode number 16. Today, it's gonna be all about the daddies, so stay tuned.
Real homies wanna know.
Real homies wanna know. Real homies wanna know.
Our homies wanna know.
Alright, so y'all, today we got my dad.
Can I say it?
Yeah.
What's up?
And we got my brother.
How y'all doing out there?
I got a question.
What?
Is this gonna be on tape, babe?
Oh God. Anyway, so y'all, today in celebration of Father's Day, we have my dad and my brother, and we also have some other men that will be featured on this video. So we're gonna go ahead and get to it.
Well, I can tell you there were some things you do as when you have a newborn, and I didn't do those things at that moment because I guess I might have been a little bit shaky as far as staying in while you were being born. So I watched the basketball game. I did. When you were born, I come, in the room. I was just amazed. Like, first thing I was amazed, like, she just had a baby. You know what I mean? It was somebody that you've been around and known for a while. And then there was a baby that showed up, and I was thinking, like, man, like I'm part of that. Yeah, it was a very, very strong part of my, life goes on moments there where it's just gonna come from one part of me to a newborn. I can't think of the proper word I want to use for it, but it was good.
Well, to tell you the truth, after 40 years, I don't remember. And that's the truth. But I thank God, I know I remember that. I thank God for him being in good health and strength. And I'm thankful for that always.
We were outside in the field, and you were throwing the baseball with me. And you would throw the ball way up in the air, and I'd have to catch it like I was in the outfield. And there was one in particular you threw, and I had to run and catch it. And it was like the first time I think I ever slid to catch a ball. And you said, "You look like Daryl Strawberry." And that was probably one of the most memorable moments I remember.
Well, I wasn't lying when I said you look like Daryl Strawberry.
That's easy. Well, I left New Jersey about 3 months before we moved down here to get a place so we can stay in. When I went back to pick them up, and we didn't let him know I was coming. Nobody told him, so he was laying in the bed that morning, and we opened the door, and he jumped up out the bed and ran and jumped all over my neck. I never forget that, because he was so happy to see his great daddy.
You had a knack for striking out. I mean, I ain't trying to throw it out there on you, but you would strike out. But I didn't know how to teach you how to hit a baseball. But I come up with some kind of ideas of what I can show you. So I, kind of put you in that, what I call a strong position. And you actually went out the next time and hit a shot. You know what I mean? It was like a ground ball past the first baseman that got you on base. And that was one of those proud moments. But the biggest proud moments I had, and I don't know if I got off the question you asked, is that there was probably never a time where I'd have to help you with homework or even worry about your grades or anything like that, because that was something that you were proud to do for yourself and did it pretty good. You always had straight A's, and you always did the work you had to do. And it was me to a point there where even probably when you got past the 6th grade, I didn't understand the stuff you were doing anyway. But you took care of that yourself, and that does make father proud.
When you talked about the baseball, that made me think about there was a baseball game where the parents got to play. And you came out, this is when we were playing, I think it was the Westbury Grays, I think was the team. We came out to the field, and the first pitch they threw to you, you hit it a mile. And I had never seen you play baseball other than you throwing the ball with me out in the yard. And when you hit it, that was when I was proud, because I was like, that was my dad. He just killed that ball. Like I couldn't believe it. I didn't even know you knew how to swing a bat.
Shoot, man.
In the field in the back, we always used to play pickup football. And my dad came out and played with us, and he played all-time quarterback. But the special thing about it was he could throw a tight spiral 40, 50 yards underhand. Nobody had ever seen it before, and it was my dad that did it.
You say no. I have a hard time saying no, but I got stronger to it because I know they were getting over on me, and they even made a take one time of me and saying, yeah.
I think just navigating the world based on what you see and then what you learn. We didn't really have like these one-on-ones where you're like, you need to know this, you need to know that. I think the biggest thing we learned was don't do drugs.
Learning how to manage work, bills, and the family, and not letting things just get out of control.
It's patience and sacrifice. My dad wasn't as present as possible, and so I try to totally be the opposite. I try to be there for everything for my daughter. But with the one thing I know is they try you, and kids have a mind of their own. So one of the biggest things I learned was to focus on my patience, because there's times where I just lose it, and you just like, you focus on what you want to do. Or like, for example, I used to wake up in the morning and work out. It doesn't work the same when you have a kid that wakes up at 7 o'clock looking for breakfast on a Saturday morning when you try to sleep in. Or it's times where you have to sacrifice financially when you have this plan of what you want to do money-wise, but then with a kid, things shift drastically, and you have things that just pop up. And so that's the biggest thing for me, is once you learn how to focus on patience and sacrifice, being a dad is all fun after that.
Well, you do know that as far as household and raising a family is things that go with that. That means going to work. That means making sure that you have bills, and you have to have bills. Making sure that they are paid and on time. You know, and then you have to deal with sometimes sickness and sometimes things that may interfere with that. But you got to make sure you put yourself in a position there where it's not you having to live from, unless some people say paycheck to paycheck, but being prepared, and then at the same time being some part of your life where you can go ahead and say things that hopefully it does stay with you. Like one of the biggest things I did was making sure you knew that there were consequences to anything that you do. And it didn't have to mean that there are always bad things going to happen to you, but there's something, anything that you do, there are some responsibilities that come with it. I think I probably said that a few times. You know, in life there's going to always be consequences, and sometimes you should know that before you do those things. But if you don't, then be aware they're going to show up.
The biggest thing I learned is it really takes sacrifice and unselfishness. Before having a kid, you know, everything was all about me. Whatever I wanted to do, wherever I wanted to go, I could do that. Now that I have a child, everything that I do, everything that I say, even my social media is influenced by knowing that I am her father. And I want to make sure I'm being a good representation of her before anything else. Whatever I do, I want to make sure that it's not only benefiting myself, but my family, specifically my child, Jayla. I think about everything with her in mind first. Like, if I do this, what happens to her? If I go here, how does that affect her? So a lot of times I don't even put myself in bad situations because I know that I am somebody's father. And at the end of the day, I gotta be able to get home to her. And I think before I had a kid, I thought less long term, you know. I really found out how important it was to, like I said, be there for your kid. by being there, you have to ensure that nothing gets in the way of what you have planned for the future. Because as we all see nowadays, life can be taken away at the drop of a dime off of anything. So we just have to be very self-conscious of what we do, say, and know that everything that we do as fathers impact our kids.
Well, because my father, I didn't have a father to raise me. I always had in my mind that my children was gonna have a father, and they were gonna know their father, and that I was gonna do the best I can and make the best for them that I could. And I thank God for giving me the strength to keep that go. And I reached, I'm pretty sure. I hope I did anyway.
You did. You did.
Well, I can't say that I had any goals other than, you know, I guess at the moment goals. You know, this is what's here right now, and this is what I got to do right now, you know, as an example, and then live from there on. But the biggest goal, I guess, if I did have one, it was to make sure that the life that I was leading, because like, I don't know if you know this or not, but I just didn't go to church. I didn't grow up in a church. The reason I started going to church, so my kids wouldn't ask the question, why do I have to go and my dad ain't going? You know, and I remember going to church one time and then didn't go the next time, and then I heard that question. Even that's what I was thinking. But dad ain't going, why do I have to go? You know, so I said, you know what? I do need to go to church. I do need to learn some things about how God wants us to live, and I can get that at church, you know. But I want my children to grow up in the church. I didn't grow up in the church that way, and I wanted to make sure my kids did.
I really didn't think about fatherhood that much. I mean, as a kid, the biggest thing I thought about really was, you know, sports and making it to the next level and different things of that notion, but actually having kids and being a father wasn't at the top of my list of things that I was looking forward to. And to couple that with the fact that I did not have my father around for a majority of my childhood or growing up, it wasn't something I thought about often. I just always had the notion that whenever I became a father, that I was going to be there to do whatever to make sure my child was taken care of. I do see a change in my generation of men stepping up as fathers. I think a lot of us kind of grew up in that generation where, you know, we might have had dads there, but they weren't as involved, or, you know, some of us just didn't have them around. But now I'm seeing dads doing amazing things and, you know, going above and beyond for their kids. And it's just really a good feeling to know that we're a part of that change where we have active, involved fathers.
Early on, I thought being a father was kind of what you described, working and providing. And you did, that was one thing you made sure you did for us, and you did it well. As I guess matured into fatherhood, the communication is now probably one of the, I would say, the biggest challenges for me. And one thing that I've learned is important with being a father or a parent at that, just being able to communicate with your child, or at least let them know that you're available for them to communicate. And then when you communicate, for me, it's how you respond to what they say, so that they're comfortable coming back and communicating with you continuously.
Well, I had a great example of a father growing up. So my views were always provide for your family, love your family, and actually having my own family. I see why I was raised the way I was, and I appreciate it. So my views haven't really changed, it's just been intensified.
Almost semi-opposite of what I seen growing up. My father wasn't as present as possible. So growing up, I always thought that a father should be as present. That means showing up for all events, showing up for graduations, being there when you get report cards, etc. Also growing up, I thought the father would be the financial provider and also the disciplinary, what some people call the bad cop. After becoming a father myself, I have a lot of empathy for my father. It's very hard being a father. A lot of people don't understand the pressure that comes with being responsible for another human being. So I have some empathy for my father, but like I said, I try to be as present as possible, and I see the rewarding factors of that. Also, once you become a father, you actually see the hands-on and how much your kid actually needs you. My daughter wakes up and first thing she yells is "Daddy" if she doesn't see me, and so that makes me feel love a different way that I never felt before, but also need it in that same manner.
Christina probably knows better than I do with her background in gerontology. But I guess as you...
Why you have to go there? Gerontology.
But I guess as you age, the idea is, at least in my mind, you become things that were barriers in terms of how you communicate or how you carry yourself as a father and as a son. They just go away because they're no longer important, or they don't hold the value that they had when you were younger. So my thought process would be, as we continue to age, we grow closer, we communicate more, we play a little bit more golf, you know, now that I got a little bit more money, and have that relationship, I wouldn't say the TV relationship, but one where there's a level of intimacy that we're both comfortable with.
And of course you got the highlights like graduation, getting your first car, license, all of those things. But I think for me, I honestly think there's not one thing that I look forward to more than just being able to spend time with her in every little moment. Some of the best memories I have right now is just me and her chilling, and just little moments where, you know, she may kiss my arm 100 times just because, you know, I'm her dad and she's just happy to have me. So I don't think there is a actual one thing that I'm looking forward to the most. I can tell you the thing I'm not looking forward to the most is her wedding day, and I guess we'll just leave it at that.
To do what I try to do and mature more, that I understand more, try to prepare them more and help them the best I can, because I help God. If they needed me, let me be there to help them. And so far he have, and I thank him for it.
I have a daughter. I have another one on the way. So for me, I'm looking forward to first day at school, graduations, prom, dropping off at college, weddings, and most specifically for me, I always planned, if I had daughters, to take them on daddy-daughter dates at the right age. So I'm definitely looking forward to that, because I want to show them how a man should treat them, how they should interact with boys, and just treat them how they're supposed to be treated. So when they actually go on dates with real boys, they already know their value, and they know how daddy treated them, and that's how the boy should treat them as well.
All I look for is the next minute. You could say the next day, or you could say the next week, and all that kind of stuff. And none of that's promised. And then I guess when you start looking for the next minute, you start saying, you know, I just got to look at the now. I'd like to see Elijah. You know, I'd love to see him. I'd love to see some more grandkids. I look for that type of stuff there, and I'd love to see my kids doing well, you know, health-wise, and the moves that they're trying to make.
Our relationship has always been great. We've always been able to talk about things going on. You retired from the post office, I'm there now, so we always had that connection, complaining about those people. But, you know, getting older, we probably spend more time together, more than we normally do.
But Christina, you shouldn't have us out here and not have us. I mean, come on now, this is the new normal. The new normal, ain't you? And I'm just trying to do the right thing.
Oh my God.
In other words, Aggie pride.
All right, guys. So now that we've heard the different views of fatherhood, and we've gotten to learn more about everyone. I did this because I just wanted to show, just like with mothers, the same with fathers, having a father or not having a father in our lives can make a huge impact on our aging experience. And it doesn't necessarily have to be negative. We may have negative experiences, whether they're in our lives or not, and they could be positive, but it's all gonna shape who we become and how we continue to age. So, y'all got anything else you want to say?
No, thanks for having me. Appreciate the opportunity to be a part of this Real Homies Want to Know, you know.
Well, I have to say, you know, that I can't believe you risked the opportunity to have such, you know, such comments coming from individuals as myself, you know. But, I mean, I guess you look at things, I really see it now that you know that parts of life include risk.
Yes, yeah, okay. That is true. Life is all about taking risks. And
some parts of it is.
Yeah, and sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. Just, you got to make the move, though, and find out. But, yeah. Well, guys, that is all I have. Happy Father's Day to
Happy
everyone.
Father's Day.
I want to do something young.
What?
Peace out.
Guys, in the meantime, in between time, you be blessed, and thank you so much for watching. Bye. Relationships are not perfect. At times, they require sacrifice that brings about challenges and lessons. However, the beauty of aging and relationships is continuing to grow and learn and love and do the best we can. Happy Father's Day.